It's time to go beyond the headlines, cause I don't put in overtime just so I can headline. Okay, now it's Fox Sports, I'm live with Renee. Going hard every day, sports rapping every play. Different segments for your favorites, coming at you daily with positive vibes. Yeah, we some game changers. Basketball, football, soccer, with different interviews. You never know who may pop up. Listen, only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Beyond the Headlines. I'm your host, Renee Washington, and I'm excited. I'm always excited for our guests because they have some great stories and accomplishments. Well, today we've got a talented artist that's going to be joining us that's putting out some really great music. We've got Alvakine joining us from the Empire State, who's going to be our artist of the episode as we are going to learn about his music career and all the great work that he's got going on. So I'm excited to bring you this week's edition as we are getting into some great stories behind the scenes, learning about his music, his journey, and much more as we get into our artist spotlight. Hope you're ready.
What's up? It's Microphone Rocky, and with everything going on right now, we can all use a lot more positivity in our lives. Thankfully, we got Renee Washington here with Positive Vibes Only.
All right, Alvakine, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. You can hear me all right still, right? Renee?
Yes, I can. I can hear you, and you sound loud and clear. I am curious to know, how are your holidays going, though?
Everything's going good right now. I'm actually back home in my hometown for the holidays, of course. But It's still going pretty good.
So what's it like being back home then after that's Oklahoma City, right?
That's correct. Yeah, Oklahoma City. If I'm being honest, I did not want to come back home. I did not want to come back home. I mean, I like New York to be in, not really to stay, but I prefer to be in New York right now.
I have never been to Oklahoma City, but I'd like to think it's probably a little bit different from New York. Just a guess.
That's a good guess. It's a lot of bit different.
Well, at least you get to be home. You know, it's always good for a change of scenery. That's what we'll go with.
Definitely. It is. It is.
So how long has it been then? Do you go back pretty regularly, or is it because you moved out to New York in 2020? So is this your first time being back since you moved out to New York?
It's probably my second time, but I really, to be honest, like I don't like post it when I'm home. I'm going to now because there's like a lot of people who've noticed that I was back home, and it's already like everybody already knows. So I'm gonna post it and say that I'm back home, just visiting and stuff like that. But I mean, this is where everything happened. This is where the inspiration to my music, I'll say, happened, and it feels bad being back here, sadly.
Oh, okay. Well, let's stay there. You moved from Oklahoma City to New York City last year in the midst of the pandemic. To pursue music. So there's a lot we can get into with that. First of all, what I know, I read that it was your manager that helped give you that extra push. You know, what was kind of what was the hesitancy on your end? You know, why, or what did you feel like was keeping you from taking that next step to fully pursuing music that changed when your manager gave you that extra push?
Honestly, it was being here, home. I mean, because people hear that you want to do something like what I'm trying to do, and it's such an unreachable dream to some people that they'll tell you that, no, I should just stay and be a welder, or I should just stay and be a truck driver, and stuff like that. Build a basic life, and I've never been a fan of the basic life.
Wow. So even it's sad that you say this, but it's just a reminder that that's 2020. Like, that sounds like a mindset from the 60s of just stay here forever and work in this job for the rest of your life. Don't pursue music. Right. You can have a career in music. That's not how you can make a living. So even as you're sharing, you still were dealing with some of that those comments of people not understanding why you needed to make that change for yourself and for your career. So how was that, or what was that experience when your manager gave you that push of, no, you need to go to New York to fully pursue music? How long did that process really take from you deciding to leave to actually leaving?
Honestly, he just told me in a basic line, he told me to get somewhere you've never been. You've got to do something you've never done. And he was pretty much telling me that obviously my family loves me. They don't want to see me go and put everything out into something, and then, you know, it crashes and burns, and then I'm in a situation that nobody wants to see me in. So, I mean, going down there, it was honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I felt so much clearer being away from everybody and being away from everything. And it's just like, I don't know anybody in New York. And now I got like so many friends. I got so many connections and so many people that know me. And it's just a good feeling.
Well, it's pretty cool up here. I'm not in New York. I'm in Jersey. But this area is pretty cool. I can't speak on Oklahoma in general, but
I can say that being in New York, nobody likes Jersey.
What?
Not trying to do anything towards you or anything where you're staying, but everybody is just like, you know, Jersey is just like it's just not a great place to be. I've been out to Jersey. It looks really pretty. But all in all, I can still say it's better than Oklahoma.
Well, this has been fun. Good luck with everything. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Bye. That's it. I am born and raised.
Like, honestly, like, that's just what I heard from being down in Brooklyn.
You know what? Let me give you the real.
Okay.
People that live in Jersey don't have a problem with New York. It's New York that has a problem with us. I don't know why. We don't bother them.
That's my next question. I was going to ask you, why does New York have a problem with Jersey?
Like, we don't bother New York. We're down here. We've got our beaches. We've got our little like towns. We got everything. We got our farms. We're suburban. We have a little bit of everything. So I don't know why New York City. Oh yeah. See, I know you're not from the area for that. South Jersey. Look, we're about to take this show. This is about to become a Jersey 101 show. South Jersey is pure farmland. Like barns, animals, farmland.
See, like, I like the country.
Like dirt road country.
Jersey.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is what people don't understand about Jersey, because they'll go into like Hoboken or Newark or somewhere in North Jersey and like, oh, I don't like it. New Jersey literally has, this is why I've always told people my entire life, everything. You've got a city, you've got the country, you've got suburban, you've got inner city and urban. You get it all. And we're close to New York and Philly. So I don't know why they have a problem with us, but we don't.
Maybe that's why, though. Because like in Oklahoma, we have farms, we have ranches, we have like all of that. So I would actually prefer Jersey over this.
See, you're in the wrong spot.
See,
you should be living in South Jersey.
I would have never known. I got to see that now. I did not expect them to have farms. I thought it was a big city like New York was.
Nope. We're misunderstood. That's what it is. New Yorkers, because New Yorkers are not really originally from New York. They're like yourself, where they moved to New York to pursue a dream. Right. And they don't know us and they judge us. But people that live in Jersey, most of us have been here forever and we understand Jersey. Oh my gosh.
I take it you were born and raised in Jersey.
What's that?
I take it you were born and raised in Jersey.
I absolutely am. Absolutely.
So you are a Jersey person.
Jersey girl through and through.
I can see how you had to break that down to me and let me know. So like, yes, I completely understand now.
See, that's what this show's all about, educating people. Yeah. For everybody that lives in New York. And I'm not talking about you because you're new here. So I'm going to give you a pass. It's the rest of New Yorkers that really have a problem with us because we're not the hustle and bustle of Manhattan and Times Square and everything else. But okay, I'm done.
Yeah, but
it's fine. I understand
it though, because like being in Brooklyn, not only Jersey, I don't know why, but they have this whole thing with Staten Island too. They don't even want to.
They do. See, it's New Yorkers.
I'm trying to learn it. I'm still
New
learning.
Yorkers. They are very kind of mean, actually. It's kind of mean. They don't really like anybody but themselves, apparently, because there's a Staten Island, Long Island issue there too. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, they're doing their own thing. Okay, so I take it that you've enjoyed New York, for the most part.
It's really pretty, and especially like just inspiring. Like just being out there, all the lights, and Jesus, Times Square. Like I've been out to Times Square, and it's different. You never see something like that in Oklahoma.
No, it makes you like I honestly, whenever I go there, I feel like a big kid. It's like overwhelming and exciting. It's all these bright lights and loud and big screens, and it's like you're on Broadway or something.
But have you ever been to the New Year's party that they have?
No.
See, you saying it like I've been hearing it. Like they're telling me, I wanted to see it. I'm like, yo, it's Times Square. I gotta go for New Year's, and they're telling me like, yo, your sold to a lot of people. They're most likely like musty or stinky, and you cannot get out of there. And it's just not as good as it looks on TV.
Everything happens for a reason. This is why we're having this conversation. It's not about your music.
That's exactly right.
It's not about your music. It's because you need to be hit to the real about New York.
I need to learn about New York.
Here's the issue with New Year's Eve in New York. It is so nice to watch on TV. Or you have to be one of the celebrities that has access to things. I know people that have gone. I'm gonna give you the real. I know people that have gone there, and so they've told me stories. First of all, it's cold. It's New Year, so it's cold. So be prepared. I don't like the cold personally, so that's not my thing to be standing outside. Then, if you're in the streets, there's no bathrooms. You're kind of just stuck there. So people have said some stories about some gross things of like, bring a diaper, not literally, but like be prepared that you might have to make your own bathroom somewhere. Like it's gross. And then there's the pandemic, the fact that we're in that. So this is like not really the time to go. But
when can I ever experience that?
What you need to do though, this is what people don't tell you, is don't go and be in the streets. You got to find like a local bar or something that's overlooking Times Square where you can be in and out. You know, I don't know if you're a drink or anything, but you can even get a soda, get a drink. And now you can overlook all the lights, have access to seats and a bathroom, and be able to get away from people if you need to. That's the trick they don't know. People who usually get I know people will get a hotel where they can see it. Like get somewhere you can see it without being in it.
See, I'm not a smoker. I don't do any kind of drugs except alcohol. That is just like my life.
Okay, so yes, go to find a bar. Those are always packed for New Year's, obviously. Find a nice bar where you're nearby. You can be in the action without having to be like Ryan Seacrest. New Year's ball drop is only fun. I feel like if you're on the stage, or you have to have no standards of life. I don't like big crowds like that where it's cold and we're all standing close together and people are doing whatever. I don't know.
Right.
So
that's good information. That's really good information. I think I would rather do that. Find a bar and overlook it than actually be down there with everybody shoulder to shoulder.
There you go. So everybody that's tuned in, when you watch New Year's Eve on TV and they show you Times Square, again, I haven't been. This is only what people have told me. So I haven't seen for myself, but the more I thought about it, that kind of does make sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
You know, that's why you go to a Hoboken or something where you can overlook all the action without being in action. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
I want to see the ball drop. I want to see,
yes. Now, that is a really cool experience. That is cool. For sure. All right. So when you moved to New York in the midst of the pandemic, you moved at a time where you're going into something new. As you mentioned, you didn't actually know anybody in New York. You're moving to a new place. And then the world is in the midst of pure chaos. So what was that experience like? And not to mention New York was a hot mess around COVID. So
oh my God,
it was a major city.
It was so hard because I came down and there were so many opportunities that I could have had, but everything was closed. And my manager and my PR, they were telling me it would normally be this, it would normally be that. And even going to Times Square, like I was talking about, they were saying it's normally a flood of people coming through here. What you're seeing, you think it's a lot of people, it is not a lot of people. and everything was just pretty much just shut down. He literally took me to a club party. I don't really know what y'all call it down there, but it was different, and
Probably
it was
okay.
not something I would find in Oklahoma City, and it got rushed by like police officers. I didn't even know what
No,
was
because you're
going
not
on.
allowed to. You weren't allowed to be mixing like that in the
Right.
beginning.
I did not know what was going on. All I know is like I felt somebody grab my shirt, and like they're pulling me. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? And they pulled me to a back door, and it was him. And he was telling me like, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here. I didn't even know what was going on, and he brought me out, and we were like in the back, like just watching the police rush through there and arresting people for being in there and like doing this illegal party type thing because of COVID was happening. And that was an experience too. I I appreciated that. It
Yeah.
was fun to watch.
I'm not gonna lie, I went out to one bar and then it was like the summertime. It was May and things hadn't fully been open yet, and the cops did bust that too because there were rules. I'm like, what am I back in college? Like you guys are
Right.
like a high school, college, and cops are showing up to the place.
That's what
So
it
I'm
felt
sure
like,
that
but it was fun. It was fun. Like
yeah,
rushing
it
out
was
there.
definitely like a moment. It was a moment.
Yes, definitely.
Oh man. So what really helped you as you're making all these transitions of being able to take that next step in your career? You know, this was a move you made to really be able to grow who you are as an artist. So having a team, I'm sure your manager was very pivotal, but for you, what was that switch? Because you could have got to New York and kind of been like, I've never been here before. I want to just let loose and enjoy the city. But to stay focused and to stay focused even in the midst of all these changes, what helped you with that?
Well, to be honest, is because when you have people that believe in you more than you believe in yourself, you really just don't want to let them down. So you don't want to just, start slacking off and start doing stuff that's not about business and not about work. And, you just want to keep the same energy that you had before you came down there because you don't want to
Mm,
let anybody down. And
yeah.
honestly, there were so many people that were hitting me up. They were in my inboxes on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and they were telling me about, how they felt about my songs. And like that's just the type of things that really push you through to you gotta keep working. You gotta do it for them.
Hmm. I like that extra motivation of not wanting to let people down. You know, you make this big move to take that next step in your career, and you want to make sure that you're going to follow through with that. You know, you're not going to drop the ball. You're not going to be that story of, oh, did you hear? But you'll be that story of, hey, did you hear
Right.
about how Alvakine went to New York and is doing incredible things? So
Right.
you have been, from honestly listening to your music, you have been creating songs that have their own unique sound. And that's one of the biggest things that jumped out at me. And I saw just through your music, you're not just creating the same cliche types of rap music or any music in general. It's got this like vibe to it. You know, what is your vibe? What is that sound, that feeling that you try to bring through all of your music? And I wonder if I captured that, if I felt that.
Yeah, that's definitely right. And if I'm being honest, it wasn't on purpose. It was just I've never really had a home. I just call it Oklahoma City. But I was born in Oklahoma City. But as soon as I was born, my dad took me to Ardmore. Then he took me to Florida. Then he took me to Atlanta. Then he took me like, oh, where did I lose somebody?
I'm still here.
Okay, but then he took me to Miami, and like it was just a bunch of transitions and meeting new women and new stepmoms and new stepbrothers,
Mm.
and through that whole thing, it was listening to different music. Still, my all-time favorite still is country. Like country never fails when they're telling a story because they've been hurt and they will put it their music, and I love that so much. So it was pretty much just all that music jumbled together, and I just told my story and told it the way that I liked how it sounded, and I just made music for me, and I just let everybody else listen to it.
Hmm. So do you try to bring some of that? I mean, music is very like emotional and raw, and it's breakup and it's heartbreak, and it's like
It's
it's a
true.
lot.
Yeah.
True. So you try to bring some of that country storytelling and music and songwriting without the country sound, because you're not a country artist.
Right. It's
Huh.
more of like emotional country rap type. It's just something that I definitely like, the country music. And I like how they always tell a story, and it's just not, oh, I got money, I got chains, and I'm fucking, or I don't even know if I can cuss you.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll be good.
Too late now.
I've been trying not to curse or anything. I'm just okay, but I just love how they tell a story, and it's always, the song is for a purpose or for somebody, and I can respect that. I mean, because if you're gonna make a track, if you're gonna make a song, make it for somebody. I mean, you're talking about somebody, obviously. So I mean, make it for them, and let everybody else listen to it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense, of being able to create music that actually has meaning behind it. I think that is something that a lot of times, unfortunately, like you said, it might just be about like drinking, sex, partying, drugs, like the same cliche. And we, as especially for Black artists, but you hear that so many times, they're like, oh, the music always sounds the same. That's what they mean.
Right.
That's what people are really trying to hint at. So you're able to bring a unique, not only sound, but also, I did pick up on that, like, vulnerability in your music, but before we get to that, you talked about just kind of moving around a lot in your childhood, and music being the one thing that kind of helped you, listen to all these different types of music. How has music really helped you in this chapter of being able to take the next step and pursuing it as a profession? And it's not just a hobby where you are talented, you've got a great voice, but now being able to actually pursue it as a profession, that you are an artist. What's that inspiration and motivation been for you to take that next step with it?
Honestly, it's scary. If I can just be completely honest, it's really terrifying, because you don't want to put 100% in and then be so disappointed when you don't get 100% out, or 200%. And that's why, like, everything, every situation, every chance, anything I can get, I wanna jump on. I wanna attack the situation, just because I want to make sure that when I'm 80 years old, I can say that I tried my damnedest. I tried everything I could. I did everything I could. It just wasn't in the cards, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, and at least you know that you've tried. There's nothing worse than those dreams that you get to be 80 years old and you're like, if only I had done this differently.
Yes, the regret. I am
The
so
regret.
fearful of the regrets. I don't want any regrets, and I have some, and it's just such a terrible feeling that I don't want to have anymore.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. So, talk to us about your music and just getting into the vulnerability that you bring. I saw you touch on a little bit of everything. Relationships, surgery, losing your home. Am I correct that you were really able to weave into some of your music? That can't be easy in itself, of being so transparent about these hardships and experiences. What really moved you to be authentic and had that country flair of sharing a little bit about, who you are through your music?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always been, like, since I was a kid. Like, I've never really been born from money. It's more of a plastic spoon instead of a silver spoon. I mean, like, literally turning on the water after it got turned off with a a tea iron. So everything that I've been through, I like to put that in the music, because I know that if I've been through it, then a million other people have too. And growing up with the whole females and falling in love and everything like that, especially with polygamy, I've started noticing that I do a lot of different stuff than normal people do in life. And so I started putting that in my music, and people started relating to it, just because even though I've been with a girl for 10 to 12 years, and then we meet another girl, and then we're all in a relationship together, it still hurts when the person that you really think betrays you or does something that you wouldn't think that somebody could do to another person. And so putting that in music and having people who've been through the same thing relate to it, it actually helped me through the times as well. So that's why I say music has saved my life multiple times.
Yeah, and that's relatable. I mean, you talk about it from what I'm getting at is polygamy, being polyamorous in your relationships. But regardless, everybody understands heartbreak, and understanding what that feeling is of trusting somebody and something changes where you lose that trust. And I
Yeah.
can't imagine that it's easy to be able to put that out there. A lot of people bottle that up. Not only are you not bottling that up, you are putting it out in your music for other people to hear, for thousands and thousands of people to hear, knowing that you are literally wearing your heart on your sleeves in your music in that sense. What's
That
that?
that is
Like,
actually that is actually a tough thing too, because coming from the Highlands, like from the north side of Oklahoma City, I got a lot of friends over there who think that it's just some soft stuff, and I'm I'm still the same me, but it's more of therapeutic. Like when you
mm,
have something happen like that, and then you just speak it and tell it to everybody. That way, it's not a secret. And nothing's a secret. I tell you everything. It's a lot easier, and it feels so much better to when it's just like out there, and you can just let that song go, do whatever it's gonna do, and work on something different, and in the same vein, just put it behind you.
mm. Now that definitely sounds therapeutic, but it also sounds like a good way to even just kind of control the narrative. We
Yes.
live in a world where people are always talking anyways, and social media, people are always speculating and wondering. And now you're like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth through my music. So if you want details, here's the real. Here's what actually happened.
And it's so crazy that you say that because I've gotten so many messages from people that I'm talking about in my music. They're saying like, you're not telling the whole story. You need to say this. You need to say that. And I'm like, how would I fit that into a 3 minute song? Or 2 minute song? Like no. If you want to go make a track, how about that? You make a responsive track. So like, just let it be that way.
Yeah, you're not writing a book, you're writing a song. So you can't
Right.
fit if you have a year's worth of a relationship with somebody and you have all these different events that have happened or however long it has
Yeah,
been,
you can't
you
fit that
cannot
into
fit
3
into
minutes.
a 3-minute song.
Right.
Plus you gotta have a hook and there's
Right. So you
oh,
can't
that's
say a
funny.
lot. You just got to say the most important things and let it be that way.
That's funny. That's funny. So I like this line that I read when you were featured in the edition of YB Hip Hop of I don't need to be a millionaire. I only need enough to do music full time. That's great perspective. And I appreciated that because it's about being able to do what you love, not really like, of course, we all want money. We're human. Like nobody wants to
Right.
do anything for free, but you really want to just be able to do it to comfortably continue making music.
Right.
What's the for you the driving force is not money then.
Well, I forget which book I
Not
was
just money.
reading, but they had quoted something like that to where they had said, if you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life. And that struck a chord with me because I was like, that is so true. Because if I can just do
Mhm.
music, I'm not really working. I'm having fun every day, or I'm like being like I'm getting stuff on my chest every day and making myself feel better. And I'm building a career off of it. Like that's just the most amazing thing. Like if you're doing what you love, you really aren't working a day in your life. You're just doing what you love to do. It's a hobby that you get paid
Right.
for.
That's true. And the thing about that is a lot of times people get so caught up in the money and the dollar signs that you lose sight of the career. And then it actually ends up hurting you more because if you're too focused on how much am I making from this or whatever, you're not doing what you love. You're now doing what you need to do to just make money.
It turns
So
into a job.
that's a great perspective. Okay. Now, what was it like being featured in that edition? I saw big names, of course, the late legendary DMX. I saw some really incredible people that were in that, and there you are, Alvakine, big spread, not a little bit, big spread in a magazine. Here you are, I'm going from OKC and all the different areas you lived to now being able to see your face, your name, your music featured in a big spread in a magazine like YB Hip Hop. Take us through that experience.
Just seeing it, I mean, I didn't believe it when they first said it, and I thought it was gonna be like a little thing. But then I had my manager and then my photographer. They had like surprised me with the whole actual magazine. I thought it was gonna be like just the internet thing. And like just going through it, I was like, I gotta record this. I was like, I gotta come back in here, open it up, and record it because like Jesus Christ, this is DMX, and I don't care whose magazine it is. Like I love DMX. Like just his style was so unique, all of that. And I'm like, I'm here right next to DMX. And like, this is crazy. I never thought I would have had a team. I never thought I would have people that believe in me like the people that do. And I never thought I had the help that I do. And I appreciate it so much.
Aww. I can't even imagine what that probably feels like. And as you talked about, you didn't know it was even going to be like a physical magazine. You're thinking it's like an internet, right. An article on the internet or something. Like we live in such a digital world now, but to see your face, your music, your name featured and talked about in a physical magazine, like here's DMX and here's me.
Yeah, right. So I had to send it to my mom. Like I was taking so many photos and sending it to mama. Like, look at this. This is crazy. But yeah, no, I love that so much. I still got it. I framed it.
Of course. As you should. That is like that to me is the reminder that you're doing the right things. Here you are. You left what month of 2020 was that you left for New York City?
I left at it would have been right before Halloween. So October of 2020.
Okay, so it's a little over a year to the day. But when that came out in May, you hadn't even been there a full year. And here you are months in, and you now are getting featured in a magazine that DMX is also being talked about in and featured in.
Yes.
Like that's how fast. Like that's incredible. Because the part that I think is even more eye-opening is like to someone like myself to hear that, it's like, oh, it happened so quickly. You just moved to New York and it all just happened. But for you, I'm sure as you lived it, this was years in the making to set yourself up.
You said it perfectly too, because looking up now, it's like everything went by so fast. But when I start thinking about it, be like, that was a process. That whole thing there was so many things that we did. So many places we went.
How long have you really been pursuing music as a career?
I would say I was doing music when I was 14 all the way up to 19, and I would never release it because I always thought like, oh, this is not gonna get aired. I really wish I would have. Bad or not, if I could go back, I would have released it. But all the way till then, I wasn't releasing anything, and I guess it would have been till I was like 24, 25. When I finally released something, got some good traction, made an Instagram account, and then I finally released the first song on Instagram, and I got such a good reception on it. I released another and another and another, and then I just came to a point to where it's like, I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work, then I won't have any regrets about it. I'm gonna make sure.
Absolutely. Wow. Now that is interesting. Like you for years were just kind of making and sitting on this music. And now realizing like you could have been sharing some of that, but hey, it all worked out. It all worked out for the better. So talk to us about your music. I know I'm going to start with the song Toxic that you released. What is that all about? What was I don't think I need to really ask the motivation because the name in itself says a lot, but tell us about creating Toxic.
So that was about one of our exes. And I blame her for why we didn't work out, but I can't even say that now because we're trying it again, which is ironically the same. There's another song called Let's Do It Again. So this is actually the third time we're about to try this. Like, we want it to work. Like, we're really trying out here. So, Desi's Room, Let's Do It Again. There's like 3 other ones, but they all did really good numbers, and it was surprising. And the toxic came. We had an argument, and honestly, I wasn't even gonna release that one. And I ended up releasing it, and people were saying like, this is kind of different from what you normally do and stuff like that. So I'm glad I released it, but it's really hard being with somebody that's toxic, that's not the same as you. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't put my hands on a female. Like, that's just something that I've never done. But there are some females who would take advantage of that and know they can just swing on you and do all they want to do because they know that you're not the type of person that would do that.
Right.
That's just toxic.
Yeah. I've never I hate when I see that. That is because a real man will not put their hands on you, but that doesn't mean you can put your hands on them. So okay.
Right.
Now you did say we are trying to make this work. Can I ask? Is the term polyamorous? Is the term not polygamy because that's multiple spouses. Polyamorous is the term when you're in is it like a throuple? Is it a what? I don't know. I'm not about that life. I don't know.
I think polyamorous is not monogamy. So like if it's not monogamy, then it's polyamorous. Okay. You got more than just two people or one person that you have to worry about.
I feel like having one person to worry about is hard enough. So kudos to you.
But it's more of those things that you got to weigh out the pros and the cons. And like if a polyamorous relationship is really working, then it's not a triangle and it's not a square, it's not a pentagon. Like everybody cares for each other like they're supposed to. And that's just, especially in the times we live in, that's just incomes coming in that you can build to a better life for everybody.
Okay. I didn't think about it that way. There's a benefit. More income.
Right.
Valid. Very valid. Okay. So that's all I'll say on that. I don't want to pry too much into your personal life. Talk to us about your other song, Do You Love Me Now, that you released. And that's another big one. You've had a lot of hits. Talk to us about this one and what's unique about this one.
So like that fell into with my city and my hometown. I know so many people up there, but it was so weird to do the same exact thing that I'm doing in New York. I was doing in Oklahoma City, but like nobody really cared because it was more like, oh, that's just that's Alvakine. He's still in the city. He's from the city. I went to school with him. But when I go to New York and like I got New York bobbing with a lot of stuff and like I'm getting numbers from New York and then people are Shazamming and like actually listening to music, and now it's different to where like even when I came up here and I wasn't going to tell anybody I was in the city, and then I had people texting me asking me if I was going to like link up and telling me to come by, and I'm like, why would they say that if they thought I was in New York City? And like so people know that I'm back up here. And it's a really good feeling, to be honest, but it was more of those things like, you didn't used to say this to me. You didn't used to want me to come kick it. You didn't. I was doing the exact same thing. So I made the song as far as, and even the photo. I was really picky about the photo. I changed it like 4 times. I was telling the guy like, I needed to really look like I'm looking out over a city, to where it's like I'm talking to a city, to where it's like, do you love me now? I've done this. I've left y'all to come down here, and I've done this, and like I'm trying my hardest out here. Like I need the support. I want the support. And it's just like, do you love me now? Like I'm doing everything that I think I was supposed to do.
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. I mean, it comes across like you're just talking about a person, and it's relationship specific. But as you mentioned, it's bigger than that. Of even just the acceptance. Specifically for you of your city, of Oklahoma City, of now that you are here, are people going to support you and give you that attention, as you mentioned, hitting you up and trying to hang out and stuff like that. Now that you are Alvakine, the big time artist, versus even a year ago when you made the decision to leave. Right. So I like the core of what you're sharing, of just being able to be vulnerable and transparent in the music, being able to connect. What's really next for you with your music? I'm sure you're always working, it seems like. You're always got something up your sleeves. What are you working on now that you can share with us?
So honestly, like I can't stop like getting inside the studio and making something because it's such a relief and stress reliever for me that we literally have maybe 50 to 70 tracks that we've already finished. And like I make so many songs and we only pick like 5 or 10 of them that we're going to actually release. And what we're doing now, because we had such a huge deal that would have like literally changed all of our lives. But since we were focused on the wrong thing, which is one of those learning things, we were focused more on the Apple iTunes numbers and numbers in different areas, but we were really sleeping on Spotify. And a lot of people use Spotify and everything was looking good except the Spotify account. You use Spotify?
I do. I don't like Apple Music.
Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
That's
Spotify's
amazing.
It's easier to me. I don't know why. It just seems easier to be for music, it just seems so much easier. I also don't like changing. Like whatever I have, like I'm riding with that until it like bursts into flames.
So you just lost a bet for me right there, because I literally made a bet. And I said that everybody who has an iPhone uses Apple Music. Everybody who has an Android probably uses Spotify. And like I thought it was them there type of thing, but I just lost that. And I know that person is watching right now, and I know
I have my iPhone and I have my Spotify and all.
You don't even use Apple Music.
I don't even have an Apple Music like login. Like when somebody shares, you can share a song on Apple Music. When somebody shares a song, I'm like, I can't even open that.
Oh
like,
wow!
It doesn't exist. So I really probably lost you that bet.
Yo, I super lost that. Like I was really feeling myself. I really thought I knew what I was talking about. I am so wrong.
You don't know. First it was Jersey, now it's Spotify. It's cool. Like I'm here breaking all the confusion up for you.
I'm okay with learning. I'm learning a lot, and you are teaching me.
That is funny. Wow. Yeah. So I definitely am not team Apple Music.
I appreciate it though.
So what are you working on then? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were in the middle of talking about what you've got going on with your music.
No, you're fine. So right now, I like to do the music I like to do, but there are other bases that I have to try to reach. So I am like transitioning slowly to like starting to do different stuff. So I've normally been in the sad vibes type of thing, and I still do so much of that, but I'm trying to do more of a music that people can actually play in their car with a car full of people, because it's really hard to play some sad heartfelt music when you're headed to the club with all your friends. You just can't do that.
True. Very true. Now, granted, I will say it is fun when you have some music you can sing to and that like connects with you personally, but it's definitely hard being able to like get ready to get hyped up, get ready to go out for the night, and you're in your feelings. So totally get that.
Right. That's tough.
So where can people follow you? I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us about your music, your transition, moving into New York City, all the great things you've got going on. Where can people follow and keep up with all you've got going on? Plug, promo, your Apple Music, plug and promo everything where people can check you out.
Well, now I want people to add me on Spotify instead of so much Apple Music, but they can pretty much just type into Google Alvakine, Alvakine, and they can follow me anywhere they want to. And I'm really working on, building Spotify. So just add me on Spotify instead of Apple Music if you can.
I think Spotify is even more compatible with like my car. Like I just feel like it's easier. So I'm glad you've come over to the Spotify side.
But yeah, now you got me wanting to download, Spotify just to see what it's like. I thought you just have to listen to songs until you get to the song you like.
No, you can create a playlist and everything.
You can just type in somebody's name and then go to their song and play it.
Yeah, and they'll even have, it's kind of like Pandora without the fact that Pandora, you can't choose what songs you're going to listen to.
See,
so
I type in Pandora.
Right, if I type in Mariah Carey Christmas, all I want for Christmas is you, I'll get similar songs. I'll get that song and I'll get similar songs. So it's just so easy to make playlists and stuff.
Okay, just because you said that, Mariah cool. But stop paying that lady for that same song because that is where she gets all of her money, and she is not a good person. I am
not bad mouthing Mariah Carey on here.
I love Mariah's a good. She's a good artist, but I have seen so much to where I'm like, you should not be that way. And I can say that because I do not ever plan on being on the song of Mariah Carey. So okay.
When you come out with some music of Mariah Carey next year. I'll remember this. If she called you up right now and said, look, I've got this great track, I think you'd be perfect on it. It's me and let's say let me just say it's just her. It's just her. I'm not even gonna add another artist. You'd say no?
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. She is fucking huge or freaking huge. I don't even know what I can say on your show. But okay, she is huge. So I would just tell her, like, all right, that's cool. But Mariah, I'm gonna let you know. I was just talking to Renee, and she goaded me into saying this. So like, you guys take all the energy to her, but like, I'm a huge fan. Let's go do this. I'm gonna be fake.
Okay, throw me under the bus and be fake.
No, but I would tell her like, yo, I don't like how you treat people. But if you want to make a track, we can make a track for the fans because it's not for me.
All right, let's take it a step further. If she said, I want you to go on tour with me and you can be my opening act.
Oh, like, would you say yes? Hard.
Oh, yeah, because I know that's what you're getting at. It's not about her music. It's about her. If she said, I'm going on tour to 10 cities, will you come on tour with me? Are you going?
I would tell her, this isn't a favor to you because you're doing a favor to me more than anything. So I can't say no because I have places that I'm trying to get to, and she definitely could get me there. I don't have to like her to give the fans something that would never ever be. It would be really different. It would be really different.
I love that. Yes, it's gonna happen. Mariah Carey is gonna call you up. Clearly, she's watching this show. Clearly,
clearly. And I have explained to do, and I will explain to her my position, and we can figure it out from there completely.
That is hilarious. And yes, Mariah, we were talking about it on my other show a couple episodes back. She's stalled out. This is her time of year. It's her time to shine. She is everywhere in her red Santa Claus cover picture. Because this is her time. Okay.
I seen a commercial of her telling people to go listen to that song. Not even joking. She said, this is the time of year, and she sung it and then had it playing in the background. I was like, yeah, she knows that is that money maker. I'm not mad at her though.
She is riding that song, and I don't blame her. First of all, the song, it really is catchy, okay?
It's a catchy song.
Fun. You can dance, you can sing. It's like romantic. It's like you can belt out with your friends.
And I'm really upset because I found myself just like, humming that song, singing that song, and I'm just like, they do their job.
It's a song you don't want to. Well, I love it, but it's a song you don't want to like, but you have to.
Right? She did a really good job. Her and Justin Bieber. Bieber did his thing too. So love him or hate him, they doing their thing. And as an artist, I respect that so much.
Not Nick's gonna be mad at us. Oh no. Nick is also watching. I'm not going to bad talk Nick Cannon. He just lost a child. But
I haven't kept up with that because I've been up here. But if that's the case, I do like Nick Cannon. before his acting skills.
Do you?
After I said that, I wanted to clarify. I liked a couple movies, and he did all right. And Drumline is a classic.
Drumline, okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
Drumline's that movie.
You can't really hate that movie. Like it's different.
It had us all thinking we were drummers. Okay, we were all in class doing the little flip of the drumstick, like the little tap of the back of it. Like we were doing all that.
That was the first time I seen something like that. I didn't even know it was that hardcore with drummers in high school and stuff.
All right, I'll give you that one. And then the one he had with Christina Milian, where he was like the little nerdy guy, like that was cute.
That was the other one, to where he wore the shoes around his neck. I just couldn't think of the name. So
I can't think of either, but that was cute, I guess. But
yeah, that's probably the only two.
Huh?
That's probably the only two. And I mean, his Wildin' Out. He did a good job.
I don't think Wildin' Out's that funny. Unpopular opinion. I don't think it's funny.
It's not always about being funny because they have people on there that's like really talented, and like that's a really good gimmick to have, because you got like 5 or 6 different things for 5 or 6 different communities.
I am not entertained by Wildin' Out.
Whoa, wait. So wait. There was a guy I was just looking on there. The battle rappers.
Okay.
And he was one of, like, I didn't even know who he was until I heard him off of Wildin' Out. There were 2 of them. You got to know their names because, like, the main 2, they have not left the show since then. And, like, they rap together.
Sure.
Okay. I know you don't watch the show, but, like...
No, I feel like I can picture them, but I don't know their names. I will say this, actually, to what you're getting at is, first of all, it is definitely over for us in Wildin' Out. Agreed. But what I do think that I like about the show is he does a good job bringing on big name people. Like, he gets everything from actors, rappers, even like those YouTube stars and like up and coming people.
Right.
Like, he does do a good job. Is it Charlie Clips?
It is not Charlie Clips.
I don't know the name.
It's Arsenal and another guy.
I feel like I should Google it, but I don't know if I feel like doing all that right now.
I was going to do that, but I didn't know if it would turn my camera and sound off because I have not been on StreamYard.
Wait, all right, I'll just do it because it's gonna. What is this? What is the name?
Arsenal, I know, is one. See, look, I was right. It blacked out my camera.
Wow. Not Arsenal the Rebel, and then Hitman Holla was on there.
Yes, Arsenal and Hitman Holla. Okay, you
Really?
Obviously haven't heard of them yet, but I need you to watch when they are rapping together. There's no way you cannot be entertained by what they're saying. And why am I still blacked out? What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. Oh, I know why. Because my StreamYard doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
I'm trying to get this to work, and I'm just not understanding how.
I don't know actually what happened either. If somebody called you or something, it might have shut your video off. Or if you were on a camera or something, I don't know.
What? There's no way to fix that. I want to see you. I want you to see me too.
Maybe leave and come back. And in the meantime, I might not say you come back with these unpopular opinions.
Okay.
Well, look, y'all. I don't know what happened to Alvakine. StreamYard kicked him out. But I will say,
you can still hear
you're
me.
the black. Isn't it black? Is you black and white? Is the teams for Wildin' Out? You're the black team now.
I think it's like black and red, right?
Yeah, you're the black team. No, not the right team. No.
That's
it. That's it. We're embracing Wildin' Out. Wild, you know.
Hitman Holla and Arsenal, they go crazy together.
Okay.
They say some really creative stuff.
Okay. I know a lot of people that still rave this day about Wildin' Out. I really don't know. Oh, okay. I'm seeing some movement. I think your camera's trying to come back.
Yeah, that's me trying to do. And I'm just clicking on it because, like, I don't understand what happened.
Oh Oh man, this has been a funny episode. I have been cracking up this entire time. So for those of you that have tuned in, we have learned a lot today. Alvakine's in the process of figuring out what's going on with the camera. We're actually about to wrap up anyways. But for those of you that have tuned in throughout this episode, we've learned a lot. We cleared up the stigma between New York City and New Jersey for those that are confused. New Jersey doesn't have a problem with New York. New York has a problem with us and Staten Island, which is also part of New York, whatever.
Yes, Staten Island.
Cleared up Mariah Carey, Nick Cannon, Wildin' Out, and then also your music career. We also had to get into that too.
Definitely.
So you did let people know where they can follow. I was actually going to get ready to wrap up anyways before we started going left, talking about Mariah and Nick, which I still can't believe was a thing, but it's cool. Whatever.
You got to give it to Nick for even getting Mariah, though. That is still Mariah Carey.
Nick, clearly, he's got a lot of different women that he's been with that are beautiful. So that little goofy act, it's working somewhere.
But they can't hit that note that Mariah Carey can hit. Just can't do it.
That's true. That's also true. Well, look, it has been a pleasure having you on. This has been fun. This has been funny and entertaining. I've been laughing. You are hilarious. And honestly, just to hear your story in such a short amount of time, has been 14 months since you moved to New York. And you've done so much in such a short amount of time that I know nothing but great things are coming for you in the future. So thank you so much for taking time to join us and talk with us about your career and some other things. It's been fun.
Thank you so much for having me, Renee. And yes, we are planning so much for 2022. And Lord willing, it will be the year. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, that's right. That 2022 is the year for everybody. Take off to really get going with their career. So thank you again for everybody that is tuning in. Again, be sure to give a follow across social media. Alvakine's on Instagram. I am Alvakine on Twitter, on Spotify, on Apple Music.
There you go. Let's say Spotify. Just don't worry about Apple Music. Just give me on Spotify because we need that.
There you go. Check him out on Spotify. You will get all the music there. That's the best spot to find music. And for the show, be sure to give us a follow as we're bringing you new content each and every week. We've got one more episode before we take the holiday break. So be sure to tune in on Wednesdays. We're live again. And for me and my guest, Alvakine, I wanted to say at the end of Wildin' Out. Isn't there a line at the end of Wildin' Out?
The end of Wildin' I was only there for Hitman Holla and Arsenal, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you don't watch the end. Okay. We're out of here from, I guess, I don't know the line from Wildin' Out either, clearly because I don't watch. But thank you again so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Thanks a lot, Renee.
Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines. Only on Beyond the Headlines. This is Beyond the Headlines with Renee Washington.